Hello, my name is Uni, and welcome back to my survival world. And here today, we are inside the storage room that we have finally filled up. Everything is in place now, except for those last couple things that I haven't collected quite yet. And then in here, I have added a portal that actually connects up to the Nether Hub quite nicely. And as we walk over here, you'll notice I had a little friend. He's my mending book guy, you know? I needed this before all the update changes come out so that I could have a nice price on that before it gets changed. Over here, of course, we have all the items. We have all my books and paper, any light sources we got here. Let's see, we got some bone meal. We got some flint and arrows. This is my favorite chest, the one I opened the most. Plenty of rockets to work with. The creeper farm down below has actually been working as I have AFK'd here. Check out our nice collection of armor trims. This is what I have so far. Plenty more to, collect. I have tried finding ancient cities and looking for the silence trim, but so far, all I've found is this guy right here, the ward armor trim. That is the only one I have so far from the ancient city. But we have a nice little sort of temporary setup for our furnaces. I'm going to, of course, make this look nicer. I've already been halfway through decorating the area, but I've just been grinding away so much for iron right now. Here, let me show you. I have this chest here, and this is what we are starting off with today in our episode, because I have 6 beacons to build. For every corner of this hexagon, there is going to be a beacon, and this is how much stuff I have collected so far. I have 5 beacons pretty much ready to go. I have 3 of them that have not been, actually turned into beacons because they are still wither skeleton skulls, but I will be doing that, don't worry. So just over here, I think it's actually the perfect timing as well. There is a beacon underneath this. You heard that? Did it go off? There it is. All right, cool. So I actually have a daylight sensor over here, and as soon as the sun goes down, there's just a tiny bit of redstone, a sticky piston right here, and a block that gets retracted as the sun sets, and we get a nice beacon beam. Now imagine all of these corners on the hexagon filled in with beacon beams. This is going to look so good, and I am ready to start grinding out the last little bit of my beacon stuff. And I even have a nice speed 2 boost, which hopefully the 50 block radius around all of these beacons will meet up in the middle of the hexagon, and I will never have to worry about not having speed while I'm here. So let's go ahead and start placing down those beacons, and hopefully when I cut back here, we will have all 6 ready to go. You only saw the first of the wither fights there. I had 2 more afterwards, but the first one went great. I had no issues. I was doing fine. I had my my golden apples here. I had all the arrows I ever needed, and it was going very well. I didn't even have my my chestplate on, which, by the way, check out the new fit. Oh yeah, dude. This is what we are going to look like, and the skin works great with it, because even when we have the chest plate off, it all fits the aesthetic of my skin. But back to what I was talking about. I was scared half to death. Oh my god, in fact almost completely to death, because the second fight I had with the withers, I ended up activating this shrieker right here, and I had to take it out. And then the third fight, it found like a cave that it went up into, and started trying to explore that, and then going off. And I was very close to my underground aquarium, so I had to kind of coerce it back over, be like, hey, come over here and don't destroy everything that I've ever built. And thankfully, I killed it. We have ourselves, oh, they're in here, I believe. There they are. There's my 3 nether stars. I need to get some more glass here. I need a few more pieces of obsidian, but then we'll go back up there and we'll start placing out the last of these things. All right, and with this last beacon, we now have all of them in place. But right now it is still daytime, so we got to head back out and see what it looks like from a distance, because this thing is going to light up the entire place. I'm so excited to see how this looks, because I have been working on collecting all that iron for weeks, I believe, at this point. Let's see, actually, let me find the statistics here. So we got items, over 1,300 mined pieces of deep slate iron ore. I believe down over here somewhere. There we go. So here's iron ore, 48,000 pieces. Look at that. I mean, that's not including all the pieces from just the beacons. I've been mining a lot of iron before that, but oh man, let me get a total and then just flash it on screen right here for you to see. That is how many pieces of iron I had to collect in order to actually make all 6 of these beacons. Now, I couldn't have thought of a better place to view this than the observatory itself, but we are going to just stand here and watch all 6 beacons turn on. Now, the cool thing is I have never actually had more than 5 beacons in my survival world before. Hopefully now these will also be in render distance. The 2 in the back there, I'm hoping, will pop up into existence, but it should be any second now, and it is so cool when it happens. Let's just sit here and watch the magic. Wow. Oh my god. Okay, well, I was right about the first thing. In the back there, the 2 didn't really show up because they were out of render distance, but there we go. Now they're in. Oh my god, dude. This is so sick. Holy. Whoa. It feels like I'm so protected right now, dude. Here, let's land right on top of this with perfect ease. Oh my god, yeah. Even that was perfect. Look at me. I am I am powerful. Look at this. Well, not really. I've seen lots of other beacon setups in survival worlds that are much more impressive than this, but the scale of it and the idea of how much iron was put into this, without an iron farm, by the way. I don't use iron farms because it just seems weird to just kind of sit down and collect your resources. I like collecting resources the old-fashioned way. It gives me something to do, and it feels like a really rewarding grind, and this is definitely a reward. But now we finally are ready to start building something here. We actually have plans to build part of the city. We are going to be making the rich district, basically where all the rich people will gather and live. Now you might be thinking, why am I making a rich district in this entire area? Well, I wanted to add some lore to this entire Hexagon city, waterfall city, whatever you want to call it. And part of that was actually already done. We have here a bunch of jail cells because this is actually going to be something else, a specific district in the future. But the reason we're making a rich district here is because I want to add some sort of like, civilization lore to this city. So there's going to be an entire spot that's, kind of tucked away from all the commoners and whatnot and the serfs because, they're rich. They have money and they can afford to be away from things. And so their entire district is going to be right here. Unfortunately, as you might imagine, over here, there is going to be something a little less unfortunate. And it's going to tell a story, It's a harsh reality of life. It's sad. It sucks. But, there's always the evil rich people who are, living amongst all the poor. So this is what we're going to be working on today. All the nice houses and all the nice things. Of course, I'm realizing now I also need to activate the beacons. I only have the speed beacon over there. But we're going to be putting absorption on all of them because I figured, if you're walking on the edge here and a skeleton smacks you a little bit, you're never going to die because these beacons are here to protect you. And that's why they're on at nighttime, is to protect you from all the things that are spawning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start up on the rich district. We have a lot of things to build here, and this is going to take a long time. So I need to buckle down and start building. Do you like dramatic pans? I sure like them. And there it is. We now have ourselves a nice little area in the Rich District complete. Not all of it. It's probably about halfway done at this point, and we can go ahead and cross our new little bridge, which acts as a way to enter this side from, yeah, that's the west. So this is the West Bridge, we will call it. And we have a nice cool design of just a little fence post, the dark oak, of course, with some end rods, because I figured, why not just add a different kind of light source? You know, usually you would just dangle a lantern or something, but right now it's actually implemented into the post itself, and I find that pretty neat. Now, upon entering, off over here, we have this little wall that expands all the way to the other side as well. But then going along here, it will lead on to more portions, this being a portion that we will work on far into the future. But on the back side here, you can see we have a nice, cool little greenhouse, which it's got nothing in it so far. But don't worry about that, because as well here, there is a portion of this building that's floating. And the reason being is because there's going to be a building directly behind it. And so for now, there's no point in really putting anything here, because there really won't be anything to see once that building gets erected. Now off over here, we have a nice patio area where we're going to have some pretty cool stuff that I'm going to build in just a second. But there's the entrance to the greenhouse. And then up here, we have this really cool red sandstone building that I decided to make. You probably saw in the time lapse in the resource gathering portion, I had gotten a bunch of red sandstone and orange terracotta to make this big old room here. Now, this isn't centered either, but in the future, when this is decked out in interior decoration, it will look really nice. And, ooh, look at that. This has been growing, and I don't have my shears with me, but it's supposed to be about that short. We'll get back to that later. The rest of these are actually sheared, so they should stay that length. And I decided to go with a nice accent of jungle wood, including here with the fence gates, and then the fence posts going down this little way. And there is a big old void right here. And if you follow this along here behind the backside of this building, all the way over to here, that's because this is where we will be finishing off the Rich District in the future, taking mind of the exit hole, of course. But over here, we now have to look at this building. We have an entrance into the interior of it, and it leads actually down into this nice little area here. And this is going to connect up into a staircase, which we'll build in a moment. And then off in this direction, we have the front entrance with a nice little window door. And on the back side here, you can go around to this room, and then there's this nice kind of basement area. It's kind of secret, and I really like the feel of this place, and I might decorate this in the future. But to be honest, ooh, I missed a hole there. I don't really have any intention to fill out the interiors of most of these places, because I really want to make this place sort of like a nice feeling on the outside, like you're walking around it and exploring and finding cool things. As for this, of course, we will probably be decorating it because it's a huge windowed room, and you're going to be able to see what's inside it. So I want to make sure that that looks nice. I think I'm going to be putting in a staircase right here or something, but I designed this actually as a building elsewhere at some point in my test world, but then didn't have any place to put it. I didn't feel like it fit anywhere, and so I actually was able to implement it into this place because it fit very well. Now, when we do build that staircase, of course, it will lead up into here, and there will be a back entrance that leads into this room, because this is a balcony right here. But this will be where you can kind of access this really cool looking sort of, it almost looks like an observatory, but it's a cube sort of hug shape with the glass. You can kind of see that, and a little more on the outside. This is going to be an entrance that we will kind of work on once we start building off in this direction. But let's go back out here because it's not really visible from where we were standing, but I made a nice little design on the roof there and on the side of the observatory square / cube. And I really like the look of that. And I'm going to be adding in some bushes and vines and stuff. But in fact, speaking of all that, we do need to actually kind of make this look nice. There's a lot of spaces, including this. From far away, this looks really nasty. When we were standing over there, you probably noticed there wasn't much going on. And the window placement is in particular. There is a reason to that, because we are going to be going ahead and making a nice sort of outdoor, not scenery, but more like aesthetic to the place. We're going to be making this place very, very fun to walk through. So I'm going to do a nice little transition here. If we just walk through this door and then walk out here, we'll have ourselves a bit of daytime, but then of course we have all of the nice decorated area here. Now let's start with this thing. This is looking like something you'd see on Instagram if you ever went on and looked up Minecraft. You'll always find these flower pot like towers and whatnot, or flower bed things, but I decided to make this my own by making a nice little inlaid sort of deep slate cobblestone on all sides here. And it gives a nice depth to everything, and you know I love my depth, so this is a very cool look for it. Although the backside we won't have to worry about too much because, like I said, in the future, we are going to be building some stuff back here. So let's go down through here. This is a nice little water fountain that we have built with a couple of the new pots on the side. I like these things. These look so much like the Legend of Zelda pots that I remember from back in the day. But on the pillars here, you can see we've got some flowering azaleas hanging up on there. And this thing right here is like a little water fountain, but I don't really like making it flow. It kind of just, it does that. And if I do it from there, it does the same exact thing. So we're just going to keep it off for now. I think that's a good idea. But then right here, we have the nice design on the side of our sandstone building. And it is a bunch of pots that are growing these mangrove leaves out of them. And they've kind of scattered and they've gone a little bit out of hand here. You can see they are making their way all over the place. And I like this look because if we go over here, we'll get a nice vantage point of the vines, and you can see it has filled in the space that was once empty, and now it looks a lot more chaotic and sporadic, and space has been filled in. No need to worry about a boring side or face of a building now. We have more interest in what we have done. But if I can just make this... first try. Look at that. We made it over. Now, let's go over to the patio because this is one of my favorites over here. Now, I've brought back, of course, the nice umbrellas from a long time ago, but with a little added feature, we have the mangrove trapdoor that kind of makes it look like it's connecting to the copper here. And this pole looks really cool as well because right here you can imagine there's like a little pulley system to collapse the umbrella in on itself. And then, of course, over here we have the decorated pots, which I have utilized the sherds with. And you can even see that we don't even have anything on the back. We just use what we need. And, of course, there are azalea leaves on top. Here as well, we've got the same exact thing going on. And then, of course, we have ourselves the new bamboo wood. We had to implement it somewhere. And I made a nice little sitting spot for people to have a snack or anything of the sorts. Over here, we have the inside of the greenhouse and a nice little natural lighting source, of course. And we have a bunch of crops growing, some sticky little plants. And right here, I figured there would be like a little shelving area for tools and whatnot. I'm not going to stick any books in there because that wouldn't make sense. But for now, we're just going to let these little pitcher plants keep on growing. And if I had my particles on, you would see these things floating around. There we go. I turned them on just for you guys. How special. Oh, I keep getting into that. Oh my goodness. I always turn them down for some reason. I think it's for performance, but I always forget to put them back on to decrease so I can at least see these nice little things. But let's go back out here because I think we have pretty much finished the entire tour of the decorated area. Other than one last part, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, yes, we need to cover this. This is a nice little staircase with a bunch of glowstone in the background here. And it's a nice little inlaid light source that I really like the design of. So I decided to do that between the sandstone building and this building here. And it makes for a really good way to get up. And it even connects up with this part. It's going to go all the way around, wrap over to here. And there should be an entrance over here one day. Yes, this will be an entrance for sure. I am most likely going to be doing that. But not today, because today everything is pretty much all set. And I thank you very much for watching this episode. So without further ado, my name is Uni. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Ow. That hurt a little bit, but thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel if you would like to. But my name is Uni. I am jogging it out, and I will see you guys next time.